Good morning, everybody. Wow, it's a beautiful day, and for once I got tons and tons of sleep, surprisingly. Whew, it's crazy. And I got a lot. Okay, like this is real what I'm gonna be talking about, and it's insane. A lot of this I didn't even know. So I'm kind of blown away with a lot of this that I just got. So I just learned a lot. I was talking with my uncle and that, and it's mind blowing and boggling. Uh, so I'm kind of shocked from what I gathered from my uncle. So I'm hoping y'all come in here and jump in this chat because it's it's crazy. It's crazy. So first, we're gonna start with my buddy Drunk. He brought up the fact of mapping the ocean floor, and that shockingly they are. And not only is there waiting to 2030, I think 2030, 2032, to release all that information, that it's going to be not just the map of the floor, Drunk. It is also going to be the alien bases, the UFO bases. Yeah, but they're going to be releasing, from what I've seen, is pretty much everything. Yeah, they're low res right now. They're going to be updating, getting all that. And I think actually, from what my uncle was pretty much saying, is they're going to do it again. Um, and because of the fact of they're releasing everything, disclosing everything, they're going to disclose every location of UFO bases that's in the ocean. That is coming from my uncle. So, and not just that, there's other things in there that they're going to be releasing. So that just blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. It just blew my mind for them to come out and actually say that to him, and then he's referring it to me. Um, and he wasn't even going to tell me. So thanks to you, Drunk, me asking got that information. Um, So that is mind boggling. So they are doing that. They did it already, but they're doing it again with better resolution, like you said. And it's just mind boggling. But that's not just it. They're talking about that there's prehistoric dinosaurs that are still in the ocean to this day. Antarctica, yes, they are going to release that. I did question him that. They're not going to show all. They're not going to show all. So they are going to show near the wall. Apparently near the wall. Not close, like extremely close to the wall, but a good few feet away. And that, so I was blown away. I was blown away. So that isn't it. So we're going to also be talking about dinosaurs, Drunk. And that dinosaurs, not all of them. I was correct on some. Uh, they have some. Some of them. Your T Rex, yes. Your Triceratops, yes. A lot of the ones that you see on Jurassic World. I'm reading notes here, so hang on from my uncle, so because I want to get everything perfect. Your pterodactyls, yes. There's also ones that you've seen on Jurassic World that are recreated actually existed. Now, long neck for the first Jurassic World or Jurassic Park, sorry, is false. The new rebirth is actually what long necks actually look like. That was your typical long necks, which baffled me. I thought more of the Jurassic Park long neck would have been the more realistic, but no. So that kind of like got me going there. Your Velociraptors, the look is almost kind of similar in some of the movies and that, but they were bigger. They were about the size of a little bit shorter than a T-Rex by 3 foot, 3 foot, 3 foot shorter than the T-Rex. Mind-boggling. So that blew my mind away on that. And interesting enough, I'm gonna skip right over to about for drunk, because I don't know if you're still on here. Drunk, are you still on here? Because I want to ask you to try to get Deadpool on here. Okay, can you try and get Deadpool on this, because this is about Bigfoot, Yeti, uh, Abominable Snowman, and I know he was interested in that. So if we could get him on here, or just let him know to watch this video if he isn't able to. Yeah, it has to deal with Bigfoot, Yeti, Abominable Snowman. So more key information on that I just got. So surprisingly. So we are both right on that. Let me give a little bit, few minutes here to see if we can get Ryan Poole, Deadpool on here, because he was really interested in that, and we had a conversation through text that we were wondering about that. So information came. Yeah, exactly. You both were. So I really would like him to. Is he in? I seen someone pop up. Is that Ryan Poole there? Let's see if he pops in the chat. Oh, maybe it's not Ryan. He didn't pop in the chat unless he's busy and just listening. So, here's the thing about Bigfoot. We're both in the right here. So it is a species that has come together and basically mated. Some of them are I can't say the word. It's not Homo sapiens, but it's an ancestor of Homo sapiens, a type that is still wandering this earth to this day. I was correct on the stories that were told, that he had told me, that there a few were captured in that. What we believe is the fact is that caveman and these type of species of Homo sapiens mated together, as well as these species of Bigfoot. And these species of Bigfoot are believed to be alien in type, with a mixture of human DNA, ape DNA, and get this, pig DNA. So baffling as it is. So they're doing more research on that. And get this, they will be releasing those files as well in the year 2029. In the year 2029, they will be releasing the files of Bigfoot, Caveman, Yeti, and Abominable Snowman. The reason is because Brazil is the reason that came out with the full disclosure of everything first, But they didn't just release UFO footage. They released Bigfoot Yeti footage. So now they have to follow suit because other countries are following, and that's what they're afraid of. And the reason they're doing that is because they're not just releasing in the news, they're also releasing on social media. So now the United States has no choice. Because imagine if we would get that information on social media, or say you have a family member from Brazil and they tell you and show you everything. Do you get what I'm saying? So basically, that is what my uncle said. That is the only reason they released, disclosed the UFOs, UAPs, and now in 2029, Bigfoot, Caveman, Yeti, and get this. This is blowing me away. There is another one they're going to release also in 2029. Dogman. The famous Dogman, they're going to release them files. Also in 2029. Hold up. Yep. Also in 2029. No. Actually, the Dogman has been around, and hang on, let me go up to my notes here from him. So Dogman has actually been around since the 1600s. And I did ask him about the comic situation there. That is where actually the comic book came in play because of the history and backstory of Dogman. So that is why. But there is truly a Dogman. I've seen live videos on that, actually. And I thought it was all, BS. Yeah. I've seen, reels and that talking about it, on WF. I don't know. I don't know if you heard of it. WF files. Drunk. No. Okay. So I do have him on my YouTube. Let me pull that up. I am subscribed to him. So I do like a lot of his stories and things that he's talking about. Okay, so it's called the Y Files. So I don't know if you've seen this guy. I'm going to see if we can show you here on here. It's called the WF. Oh, the Y Files. His symbol is the WF question mark. It's the Y Files. And this is the guy. And this guy has been putting out a lot of stuff, actually. And it's actually declassified files and sources he has as well that he gets his information from. And he has actually talked a lot before anything's been released. Drunk. The reason I'm bringing him up is because I see a lot that you bring up Antarctica a lot. He speaks a lot about Antarctica. A lot. So if you're really into that, he talks about a lot of stuff. So if you're really into that, I would suggest checking him out. Yeah, I suggest you subscribe to him. It's free. You don't have to pay nothing. That's what's nice about him. You don't have to pay nothing. So look him up. It's WF question mark, and I believe it's called the Y Files. Let me pull one of his up. Yeah, it's called the Y Files community. You could just look up the Y Files or somehow. I forget how I found him. Send the link on Discord. Okay, let me visit channel. Okay. share. Yeah, I'm going to share that now. On show discussion, right? Let me get Drunks where he wants me to. Okay. All right. There we go. And sent. So definitely get onto that. I sent that. Everybody else, I recommend you as well follow him. He really speaks out on it. Okay, okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. All right. I completely forgot about that. Tell him I apologize. But that isn't all. So I got tons here. Let me bring up my uncle's text. Really, it's actually text. I call them notes. Go back to him. Just back up. So we have Dogman. We have Caveman slash Bigfoot slash species technologically. That is a mixture in the DNA. We did dinosaurs. Now, and then we also did mapping of the ocean. Now, here's the thing: dragons. There is dragons in history, and that it is also believed that there's still dragons today. The only thing, okay, bro. So there is dragons now. The dragons that we are used to seeing, they have pretty much disappeared. Either extinct, either believed to be extinct, or believed to have gone out in hiding because they were hunted back in the period of medieval times. Now, some from actual papyrus. Now, papyrus is what back in the day was used sometimes for writing, and animal skin that was found that they wrote on, that somehow was being able to be preserved. That yes, there was dragons even then that were hunted and used basically as weapons. The belief was that from the people that discovered it, well, he could not give me that name. There's names in that, but he said that when they discovered this, that they thought it was a story until ancient paintings were found with people that was listed in these pamphlets that are known as dragon riders, what we call dragon riders. They called them dragon monsieurs or something like that. Basically, what I would say in short term is masters of the dragon. So those stories are correct and true. They have not confirmed 100% everything, but they are saying 80. He says that they are saying 80% sure that there is dragons still to this day from the medieval times somewhere near China. If they get approved by China, or if China would go with them to go to this supposed area that's closed off, they would be able to confirm if they're there. China does admit that there is 2 dragon sightings. 2 dragon sightings. And we're not talking about dragons from the ocean. We're not talking about dragons, walking. We're talking about two that were sighted flying. China admits that. To the United States government. Baffling that they would admit to something. Now, could it be a tactic? Let's go there, because I'm also a skepticism too. Now, do I believe some of the stories about history back in time about dragons? Yes. It goes a long period, and not just China. We're talking about, China, Tokyo, or Japan. There's some other areas as well that talks about dragons overseas. Now, over here, we haven't really found much, and I think reason is because I don't think the United States really wants to find that. But here's my other thing. In ancient Greece, now I live and grown up, was given to a family that are Greek. Okay, so I know the history of Greek from long ago. Okay. Also, my family, I don't know if you will recognize the name if you pay attention to a certain group that was in the medieval times, and that are the St. Clairs. They are the St. Clairs. St. Clairs go far, far back in medieval times. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, find a way to get a hold of me. Like I said, I have a TikTok, I have an Instagram, and I also have a Facebook, all named Undercover with Jay. So, if you want to know the history and that's more of another time, and that I'll discuss that. But St. Clair's do go far back, and they spoke of dragons, and a lot of stuff from back then shows what looks like. Look at the Hydra. The Hydra was a double, triple, quadruple head that constantly grew back. But everything that they depicted as is dragon face, and all that. So even back in ancient Greece. But that's not all. We also see, and I haven't discussed this with anybody yet, in ancient times, even Greece, a lot of it in Greece, is what's called a Pegasus. Well, surprisingly, those are true too. There was such a horse, supposedly, and this isn't misinformation. I'm gonna tell you that now, because this is coming from my uncle. My uncle doesn't play that kind of game. A Pegasus was not officially found alive, but two fossils were found that was horse fossils with wingspan that had wings. Now, archaeologists did look deeply into it to see if it was possible that two, horse and some kind of bird maybe been, in the same fossilized area. Just the horse maybe landed on it from dying and whatever and fossilized over it. No. So the actual bone structure is in the horse. Shockingly. This one bothers me. Now, like I said, my uncle doesn't play that game. And he don't. I've known him he does not have a sense of humor. He doesn't. And I know my uncle never has lied about anything in his life. But what if what we're told is folklore and mythology is possibly real? Appreciate it, drunk. What if what we were told as that was folklore is actually real? So I did some digging. Back in we're talking about the pirate area back to the Viking and Dane area, to medieval area. They talked about mermaids, sirens. They talked about deep sea monsters. They talked about things that just we thought was always folklore. But what if it isn't? Now, I'm not going far as like fairies and pixies and stuff like that. Like some of these people go on here and post weird stuff on Facebook Reels and TikTok and that. I'm talking about some things. Okay? I'm really talking about certain things. So, a Pegasus throughout history has been talked about in ancient Greece and farther back. Now, is it possible that these animals could have been killed or died off? It's very possible because people back then really didn't take care of animals when they took them in. But even my family, the St. Clairs, all discuss about it. And my uncle brought it up. 2 fossils that were horse with wings. 2 fossils. 2 that haven't been put out there. Why? Because every time that we question something like that, they come back with, oh no, it's folklore or mythology or a lie or conspiracy. Everything we're told is a conspiracy, am I right? But guess what? We were told that with UFOs and UAPs for how many years, and now all of a sudden you're disclosing. Why don't you take accountability that you lied to us for how many years, decades upon decades, and now you won't do, now we're finding out other possibilities. Like I said, I'm not going to fairies and pixies and that. I'm going to actual fact in history. History talks about a lot of stuff, and it comes up. And now today, you still hear people that live on ships and are constantly out on ships all day and night and are talking about mermaids. And mermaids have been talked about for decades, leading even back to the days of the pirates, medieval time, Danes, Viking, all that. It's been talked about. And I thought about it and I looked on it, and guess what? You cannot deny that if something is talked about for decades upon decades, all the way back, that it had to be real. We thought at the time that there wasn't such thing as giant squids. Look what happened. Giant squids that are found washed upon shore. Giant squids now being found in the ocean and seen. Right? Well, guess what? There's a giant octopus. Do you guys know about that? I've seen 2 videos, not from Facebook Reels, not from YouTube, not from TikTok. Discovery. And they were quick. That's what's funny. They were quick. One video was that I did eventually see lately on, I think it was TikTok, was at an oil tanker. They have cameras in the water down there, right? A video captured a giant octopus. Not the head, but the tentacles. Yeah. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. So if something like that is real, okay, then why not can't you believe anything else is real? My uncle, like I said, has never lied in his life. He don't have a sense of humor at all. This man is serious 24 freaking 7. Okay? And you got to understand why, and I'm going to put that out there. This man has been in the military, okay, for a long, long time. Went from the military to the FBI. Went from the FBI to the CIA. From the CIA to the Secret Service to the Pentagon. Now, he retired a few years into Joe Biden's because he couldn't take it no more. He couldn't take it no more. And I'm not going to say it was just with because of Joe Biden. It wasn't. It was a lot of other stuff, but Joe Biden was kind of the last straw, and plus he really didn't like Trump. I'm going to be honest. Okay, so he didn't want to be stuck there for either one, so he retired from that. Now, that's not saying that he doesn't still have contacts and a lot of sources and a lot of information that they do come to him for and ask him and, get his guidance on. So he hears still to this day a lot of stuff. Yes. Yes. They are all St. Clairs. Yes. From all the way back. If you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. Very true. My uncle has confirmed that our family has that lineage with that group. So yes. So, and I've known that for a long time. I've known that for a long time. And I'll come on here actually probably tonight, so that way you guys can hear that history, because he did give me permission to talk about that part of that family's history and others. He's going to be getting a hold of me later on about like 2-ish, 3-ish to talk more about it. So I have a stream. He's glad to talk about that. But yes. My guardian family is all St. Clairs from way back in. So that lineage leads to that era and also was involved. So, but like I was saying, if you can't believe, that there was certain things out there, then you got to understand that you're not awake. You're listening to what people feed you too much compared to evidence. And that's why I love hanging around with Drunk. I love, conversating with Ryan Poole and that, and some of these others that are on here, because they have an open mind and they're more awake. They're more awake. And that's what maybe you need to do. You might need to find somebody that's more awake and has more of an open mind and sees evidence compared to being someone's word. Because if you really didn't pay attention to history, then there's a problem. Because a lot of things are told. Because look, let me shoot you this. Because this is been all over TV. It's been all over social media. King Arthur, they said, was a story. A story. Right? That it was just a story made up. Now, all of a sudden, it's not a story. They found his tomb. They're about to open his tomb, also in 2030. And there was a cave that was found that has remnants of where Maryland was. That's official. That's official. That isn't just social media talk. That is actual, like, ancient things I've seen and read that were on History Channel type things. Yeah. Now, the new theory of also Robin Hood is coming out. And that was told as a story. Get this. They found an ancient ring in the woods overseas that had the inscription of the man that was called Robin Hood. Yeah, a ring that leads back to the very man that was Robin Hood. Yeah. So do you see where I'm getting at? We were told about mythology. We're told about, folklore, that is just stories. But now you're coming out with a lot of stuff that is true. Yes. So he did exist. King Arthur, Robin Hood, and I'm pretty sure tons of others that we were told was folklore, the stories. Why not everything else then that we've heard that's going back from ancient times? Ancient times. And I'm going to tell you something else. Cloning and DNA mixing has been going on forever. We are not talking modern day. There is evidence, so much evidence, that is mind-boggling. Okay? And not only just is the evidence physically, it's throughout history. Throughout history. And guess where most of that history is hidden, but supposedly not found, which I know it's been found. I know it's been found. You know what I'm talking about because we brought it up. I think it was Deadpool brought it up before. Alexander the Great Library has every key piece in history documented. Everything documented. Why do you think it was the Great Library? Everything he went, he collected. Every city, every whatever you want to call it, he raided and overcome and took power in. He took a piece of that history and put it in that library. And that's not the only thing he went after. No, he didn't just go after and conquer, these cities and stuff like that. He was just like anybody. He was a great explorer. Alexander the Great was a great explorer. Think of that. That is true. That is true. He was a great explorer because he had he had an open mind and he wanted to know everything. That was his one weakness is Alexander the Great wanted to know everything. He wanted that power of knowing the universe, the knowledge. Okay, that's what Alexander the Great was biggest downfall was. And he trusted too many people. Let me put that way. Okay, he conquered a lot. And there's a lot of evidence in that. A lot. And it's funny how they constantly are discovering new things every time, but you telling me that you couldn't discover Alexander the Great's library. That's extensive. Yep. So, but like I said, DNA has been messed around with for centuries. That's another topic I'm going to get into on another stream too. Yeah, and that's the whole purpose. I want people to start looking into things and getting facts and learning that there is facts out there. There is evidence out there. Okay, and it isn't just nowadays. We're talking about throughout history. These things have been brought up and talked about. Come on. Get on the ball, everybody. Get on the ball. Wake up. Wake up. Smell the coffee. And look at your history. The truth is in your history. They can't lie about everything. They can't lie about everything. Okay? Because every person that does some bad deed always what? They screw up. They screw up in their storyline or screw up by giving out stuff that eventually it'd be like if someone's awake enough, they can pick it out. Like, yeah. Oh, wait a minute, you're saying this, but what's this? What's this? This is ancient history telling me this. These are the depictions, and that was so. How would they come up with depictions and tell a story? And tell a story. Back then, they really didn't have stories, except maybe if they were fishing. Maybe if something seriously. See, people back then didn't talk about stories really, like they're telling a child a storybook. Back then, they didn't do that. They didn't believe in that kind of stuff because they didn't understand that kind of thing. What they really understood is truth, and they would tell stories as it happened that time. Oh, I went out hunting, and guess what? I seen this monstrous bear, and I took it down. Look at it. Look at this magnificent bear, and they tell the whole story of what they did, how they got there, how they found it, how they took it down, how they got it back, how they this, how they that. You understand what I'm saying? They told a story that was true, and it led back to events to forward. Right. Exactly. I mean, if you really look at it, history tells it. These people didn't tell a story just to tell a story. Okay? They didn't just worship something. They didn't just worship something without seeing it first and then putting it on something. And the reason they put on something is to be able to tell about it later on, because guess what? We do videos for what? Because it lasts longer. It can be found. That is the reason they created the statues. That is the reason they created plates with that decor on it, and so on and so forth, is so that it would outlast them and be told throughout a period of time. How do you think pirates were described? You hear about Blackbeard. You hear about Long John Silver. You hear about, all these other pirates. And yet those stories are true, but yet you're going to try and tell me that what they said was not true. Oh, it was seasickness or, whatever that sea thing's called where they're out too long on sea and that. Not if it's coming from the same people and every single sailor. Excuse me, apologize. Not if every single sailor is talking about it, and every pirate's talking about it, and then the Danes are talking about it, and the Vikings are talking about it, and the medieval people are talking about it. And if they're all telling the same story, they're not all going through the same crap. Exactly. There has to be. There has to be. Or else it would not be constantly talked about by people left and right. All right, bro. It wouldn't. Be honest, guys. Be honest. Nothing that we're being told, everything we're being told is BS because they don't want you to know. They don't care because they are about power and control. Power and control is what has changed this world. It is what's taken over this world. That is facts. When it benefits them, then they'll come out with the truth. When it benefits them, they will tell everything. That's how it's always been. Always. Always. Always been that way. You understand? You are constantly being lied to over and over and over. Non-stop. Non-stop being lied to. All for power and control. All about a certain situation. And I would know about a lot of this stuff because guess what? The military isn't just used for fighting. I can't even talk because I'm so whacked out right now. The military is used for other benefit for the government. And they're all employed contract through the Vatican, because guess where the stuff ends up most of the time? To the Vatican. If the United States military, because they don't trust everybody over there, so if the United States military comes in to overseas, because I've done it a lot, because there's ancient artifacts and things that are not supposed to be out there, they need someone they trust. So the United States military shuts their mouth. So guess what? We're going to employ them to come over, and they do. Because I've done it. And not just overseas, it's been happening over here as well, that we're told to go out and get something or pick something up, load it up, and get it out of there as fast as we can. And then all of a sudden, guess what's being brought to us? What's being brought to us? Hold up. Bigger than this, but guess what? Oh, we need you to sign this. We need you to sign this, and you got to shut your mouth. Don't talk about what you've seen here. Don't talk about what you've done here. No, nothing, or you'll be arrested or worse. And be arrested for treason and charged with treason. Yeah. So do not trust the United States government. Do not trust the Vatican. They're all liars. And why do you think the people I'm going to talk about in my next stream, in my late at night stream, left them? It wasn't just the Vatican. It was the Catholics they left. Why? Ask that question. Why? Because for a long time they were employed with them. For a long time they did for the church. Yet they're lying about them. And still, to this day, make them out to be bad guys. Why? Because they found out you were bullcrapping and they left you? So now you make them out to be bad guys because they took everything and left? They took everything because you lied. They took everything because you were deceitful. Just like now, today, and always have been deceitful. That's why I trust no new Bible even to this day, because King James was a demonologist before he even thought about the Bible. He preferred demons and studying them and being about them and practicing witchcraft and that. So everything in that King James Bible is BS. And if you look in the Bible, there's a lot of chapters even missing out of there. Like Matthew 21, 22, something like that. One of those two is missing. It skips. Hello? Why would it skip? Because there's reality to it. What you need is a Bible from the 1600s or 1500s or 1300s, maybe even the 1800s, but not as much as your 17, 16. And you're going to notice a difference if you look for them Bibles. They seem to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I've seen a Bible this big before. From the 1400s. So imagine a 1300 era Bible, or even older. Come on, think about it. That's packed with more information. That's packed with what has been missing from everything. Especially the true name of Jesus and the true name of God, because there's power in the name. Would they want you to have that power? No. Okay? So get on the page, guys. And my point is that you're being lied to constantly every single day. Now they have to disclose UFOs, and that if it wouldn't have come to to Brazil, they would never have disclosed it. Nothing. They wouldn't have. Just like I know to this day, Antarctica is Atlantis. Admiral Byrd proved it in his journal, hinted at it in his journal in case it was ever found. Why else do you think he didn't turn over both journals? He had two journals. Two. One for them, and he kept one for himself. An advanced city that's underground in Antarctica, and it was advanced city, he said. Very advanced. Who else went there? Hitler. And 2 years after Admiral Byrd's suspicious death, the treaty was signed. Now, usually a treaty takes longer than that. Way longer. Especially when you have a group of people from different countries coming together to agree on a treaty, a mass treaty like that, would take longer than 2 years. Or like many have said, it was already discussed after Admiral Byrd came back. That it was already being in progress since the time he came back. Because the normal treaty takes 4 to 5 years. Something like that would take 4 to 5 years. And that's proven. That's proven. Come on. It's crazy that 2 years after his death, the treaty was signed and put in place. And now nobody is allowed in Antarctica. But yet they lie and say, there's nothing there. There's nothing. Then why are you protecting it? Why are you constantly there?
Low battery. Please charge.
Think about it. Give me a minute, guys. My stuff unplugged somehow. I'm a kiddo, probably. But yeah, truth. The truth. Why aren't you demanding for the truth? And everybody, this isn't just me. This is there's a lot of sources that I talk to, and then, like I said, family, including my uncle. Okay, that agree with everything I say and everything I brought up. But I am only one person. I'm only one person. It takes a lot more than one person. It's, as you've seen when protesters happen, it could be thousands in it. But if it was millions to billions of people going and demanding the truth, they would have to. They would have to. They would. That's the truth. That's the truth. Open your eyes to it, people. I mean, come on, it's the truth. And that's what we are about on here, is the truth. That's why I get so frustrated. You need the truth. You want the truth, come here, because we're going to give it to you. Because we do the research. We do the reality checks. and we have the sources to get it out there. And I need you all, if you want more truth, get on here, subscribe and follow and everything, because I'm telling you, I got people that want to come on here. But I'm not going to do it for a few people. I'm not going to do it for a few people. I need all of you on here, so that way I need a lot. I need a lot, because at the end of the day, you guys can share what we're telling you of the truth and get it out there. Because I got sources from every part of the government. I got sources from the military. I got sources that are deep within. I got scientists. I got archaeologists. I got tons of people that I'm connected to, that my family's connected to, that are willing, even from back then. I even got witnesses. I got some witnesses. My uncles, two of my uncles are still out there trying to reach out to a lot of these witnesses that witness pretty much Bigfoot, UFOs, even out when they were in the Navy and that, they seen other things. I can't mention them, but they're willing to talk. But only if that what they say about can get out there farther. Because the few people I have, it's not going to get nowhere. It's not. Because some people are just blind. I need the people that are open-minded and has their eyes open, and wants the people also to have the truth. That's it. That's the reality of it. They're not going to come on here and waste their time and possibly, have something happen to them for no reason. For no reason. And I agree with them. Me, I risk some things because I can't shut my mouth. I'm sorry. I can't. And I ain't scared. They can come at me. They could blow my phone up. They could come to my door knocking and saying this, that, and the third. And guess what? I'm going to still tell them I don't care. Get off my property. I don't care. Don't be calling my phone. Because I don't care. The truth needs to be out there. Reality check. I'm not here to tell you stories. I'm not here to give you misinformation. I'm here for the truth to get out there and be put out there so the world knows reality. What's really going on? What's really out there? Why is it being hidden? Why do you think you have the power just to keep something to yourselves and not share it with us? Because we too deserve to know, because we're living out here and we're busting our butts, slaving around, and here you are hiding stuff from us. Come on. Be a man. Be a woman, not a child, and tell the truth, and I'll get it out there. And I'm coming for you, Trump, as well. I'm telling you, I'm coming on here for you to say to you, open everything, not just UFOs, not just UAPs. Get it out there. And why do we got to wait? Why do we got to wait till 2029, 2030, 20 this, 20 that? I don't want to wait. The people don't want to wait. We want the truth. And what happened to your promises, man? That you was going to help the people. All lies, just like everything else and every other president. There's only one man that's been the closest to the truth and for the people, and that was JFK. And what happened to him? What happened to him? Because he was out there for the truth and for the people. And you didn't like it. You didn't like it. Well, that's too bad. We need more people like him. So Trump, I guarantee you no third time or fourth time or any time You're after the money. That's all you've ever been after. And guess what? You're a bad businessman, man. Horrible business. Horrible. And yeah, not doing so great as a president either. I'm just being honest. If you people don't see it, then there's a problem. What happened to the gas prices? I thought they were going to go way down. Thought he was going to help people. Who has he helped? Oh man, it seems like only the people that I see is the rich and wealthy. Celebrities, maybe even. That's it. I haven't seen him help any middle class or even lower. That's the truth. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it for the stream today. I've given you a lot to talk about, a lot to look at. I hope you find where I'm going. The next stream I'm going to do tonight leads about family history of the family I've lived with since I was 4 years old, the St. Clairs. And that's where the Knights Templars come in. So be prepared for tonight about the Knights Templars, what I've learned from my uncle through the years and have discussed about that. And the truth about the Knights Templars, not what you've heard. Have a great and blessed day. I hope you have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend. We might be on here on the weekend as well. Hopefully, we will see. Like I said, have a great and blessed day. Take it easy.